Alright, we got back-to-back days of roster news to get into. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think everybody saw coming. We talked about it a little bit in previous videos, but it's a good platform to talk about the current state of the Brazilian scene, and that's that Furia is bringing back Skulls to be their new fifth, and more importantly, Kscerato and Yuri have re-upped their contracts for 3 more years to stay with the organization. Now, in terms of the raw move for Furia, getting rid of Art, bringing in Skulls, I think is going to be a direct upgrade for the squad. I think Skulls will come back. He'll be able to find his form in a more comfortable environment with Brazilian-speaking teammates in Brazil. He's no longer going to have to worry about speaking English, working in a new environment. He's going to be able to be very comfortable where he was prior to signing with Liquid, and hopefully be able to show us some of that form that garnered so much attention that allowed him to get that contract in the first place. So for Skulls, I think this is an A+ move. For Furia, it's a good step in the right direction. What I'm more worried about is the fact that Kscerato has re-signed for another 3 years with this organization without seeming any consideration for maybe making a move that would better his career path. Because don't get it twisted, while Skulls to Furia is a good move, Furia as a team is still not going to be this great big tournament threat. They're still going to struggle to be a top 15 or better team, and they're certainly going to be an outside shot at best to even win a big event. And all of that will be despite Kscerato continuing to be one of the top 10 best players in the world. Right now, if you go to HLTV and sort by LAN events, Kscerato is the 9th best player in the world by rating. He's in elite company with players like Shiro, Munisi, Zywoo, Dunk, Elige. These players who continue to dominate event to event. Kscerato is right there putting up great numbers all the time, but he's dragging dead weight behind them. What I can't understand is how he has so much faith in this organization who has spent the last 5 years doing absolutely nothing to put teams around him that are going to succeed outside of that original Furia core that signed those death contracts in the first place. We've been spinning the wheels for several years for Kscerato, waiting for him to be out of this contract so he can move on to either a different Brazilian organization or go international, and now we're going to wait another 3 years of this guy's prime for him to potentially get to a better roster, assuming that Furia continues the status quo of not building great teams around him, and that just sucks. So today, we're going to talk about the state of Furia, what they should be doing to build a true Brazilian super team, how Brazil continues to fail to build a super team and why the NA scene is doing much of the same, and lastly, we'll talk about the biggest reason why this continues to happen, and that's the influence of Brazilian CS's greatest benefactor, and that is of course Fallen. But before we do that, I do have a special announcement. Starting today, I am powered by Advanced GG. Advanced GG is a supplement company which sells you drink mixes that can help you out with work, hitting the gym, and of course staying dialed in when you're ready to hit up that Premier queue or join that Face It game. But it's more than just that caffeine fix. They also have options for hydration as well as sleep aid and multivitamins. They're really kind of an all-in-one company, and I like their focus on sustainable and healthy ingredients. I'm super excited to be working with them, and if you decide to make a purchase, you can use my discount code LIONS10 at checkout for 10% off. Link in the description, and without any further ado, let's get on with the rest of the video. So my biggest issue with Furia right now is their seeming refusal to bring in other star talent around Kscerato. We look at the team before Skulls, right? Yuri, Fallen, and Cello are at best just kind of average or okay players. They may individually have some moments where they pop off, really other than Cello, but they're not going to be able to put up the same numbers that Kscerato does. This team lives and dies by Kscerato being the carry, and if he can't carry, this team is dead in the water. And that is just a very volatile way to play Counter-Strike. I mean, look no further than someone else like, say, Complexity, where everything they do is built brick by brick with Elige carrying this team. It's very rare that they're able to get over the line off of a bad Elige game, and that makes them a very volatile team within the top 10, top 15. So we come into this offseason and you have a golden opportunity to make some moves. You're able to get rid of Art, you know that Kai's just a stand-in, you can move some money around it and bring in some big Brazilian talent. And most of all, there are some great Brazilian players in other organizations right now that would easily elevate Furia into a top 10 team bare minimum. The first name that comes out right away is Bubblesj from Pain Gaming. This guy is not only a fragging in-game leader, he's someone who does it well and calls a great game on top of that. That's so rare in current Counter-Strike to find an in-game leader who's going to put up more than just a 1.0 and is also going to call competent sides while he does it. If you could pick up Bubblesj, get rid of Fallen, get a Brazilian Opper, this team would be mustard. It would be gas. It would be the shit. And let's say for the sake of argument that Bubblesj for some reason isn't obtainable. Buyout's too high, whatever it is. Pain don't want to let him go. Okay, I would still drop Cello and hunt someone else. You get like Lotto from Legacy, who's been really great. Insani from MIBR, another great shout. The point is, there's a lot of great young Brazilian talent coming up, and right now it seems like for whatever reason Furia can't or aren't willing to reach out and get them and put them behind their superstar player, who they are going to be holding on to for close to a fucking decade by the time the contract's up. Surely, if we get through the rest of this year and this Furia team continues to do nothing, we have to look at telling Fallen he needs to retire, right? Because again, Fallen's stats are so misleading because you say, okay, he's the in-game leader. You go look at his stats. Fallen averages like a 1.0, 1.04 rating. And I go, hey, honestly, for an in-game leader, 1.0 rating, not bad. But then you have to remember, he's an opper. He's your primary opper and your in-game leader. The most dreaded combo in the history of Counter-Strike. And I'm sorry, you can't be the primary opper of a team, take up that much space, that much utility, that much money, and be a 1.0 rating player. It's not going to work. We are saturated with incredible, talented oppers all over the top 15, top 20 teams in the world, and they are all averaging well above a 1.0 rating. So Fallen might do well against local Brazilian competition and bad like top 30 teams. Put his ass against a Zywoo, a Muncie, even like a Wonderful, a Brokey, and he's going to get absolutely lambasted. He's going to look as old as he is. It's not 2016 anymore. Fallen can't compete as a top opper in the game, dude. It's not gonna work. We're all out here roasting Cadian for being an opper in-game leader and being bad as an opper, and then Fallen just crip walks past, just totally shielded from criticism within his own community because he's the Godfather. Kayota! Like, no one wants to say that, hey man, retire, please, or step down to a smaller organization. Stop wasting the potential of these guys. And that gets into the other thing that I talked about, and that's this Brazilian culture issue of not being able to build super teams outside of the one team we all keep going back to, that legendary SK Luminosity core. We have not been able to repeat anything close to his dominance since then. And I have a lot of love and respect for the Brazilian fan base. You guys are so passionate about your players and your community, and I respect that. But you guys also have to expect more out of these teams that are being assembled. I don't understand this need to continue to give a pass to these guys who were formerly great, but continue to drag down these cores. You should be looking at Furia, re-signing Yuri, re-signing Kscerato for another 3 years, and then look at the roster around and be like, that's it? You guys are going to lock these guys down for that long and not give them anything more to work with? Because the talent's there. A Brazilian super team should exist. There should be probably even 2 of them who consistently compete in the top 15, top 10 teams in the world. Brazil has that saturation of talent, but it's all spread out. It's all cast to the wind, and it shouldn't be. You guys have every opportunity to consistently send major contenders out there because you guys compete in the America RMR system. You guys know that NACS is currently in the gutter, in the trash bin. You guys should be cruising through, putting up top major performances year over year, tournament to tournament. Like, can we at least agree that Fallen should step down after a certain point? Like, why does he continue to get a pass? Like, I don't get it, guys. If Fallen is such an impactful, god-tier in-game leader and still so good on the op, why aren't we seeing it in the server? And most importantly, if he's not keeping up individually and he's still such a great mind for the game, why isn't he willing to step aside and become a coach or train the next generation? Why does his ego necessitate that we have to live in Brazilian limbo when you guys should be taking trophies every year at a consistent level? And for my last point, we're going to point our blame at Kscerato himself, because at some point, the blame has to come back to you. Where is your drive to improve the situation and put yourself in a situation where you can win trophies? You're not forced to play for this organization. Your contract was up. You had the option to weigh the leverage of, hey, I am Furia. You guys have no team without me. I'm the only reason that we're even surviving. You guys either build me a core that can win, or I walk away. And I get it, Kscerato may not feel comfortable going international and speaking English, but you can still move around endemically within your own community. Again, Pain Gaming, Bubblesj, that team is right there. Kscerato, you could go there, slot in for one of their worst players, play with Bubblesj, and all of a sudden you guys are the best Brazilian team overnight. You had that option. And if you didn't explore it, then you've wasted your opportunities. Another 3 years? 8 years of your career you're going to spend with this organization that's put together 1 or maybe 2 quality lineups around you at the very beginning of those contracts, but has yet to repeat it since? Like, come on, man. At a certain point, I have to question your want to win championships, because why would you settle for such mediocrity when you yourself are a beacon within this game, one of the leading players in this game, the best Brazilian player right now? You are the Kscerato of this era of Brazilian players, man. You should be leading the way into Brazilian championships, and instead you've settled once again to stay with this team when they are not giving you the support that you deserve. But hey, at least they brought in Skull, so maybe you guys might make like a 12th to 16th instead of going out last at the Esports World Cup. Big fucking whoop. Alright, that's all I got to say about the Furia signings. Got a little bit heated there, but I feel very strongly about these teams. I think that we should be seeing more out of them, and we're just not, so it's disappointing. Let me know what your guys' thoughts about Skulls of Furia in the comments down below. How do you feel about Kscerato and Yuri re-upping their contracts of Doom? Let me know, and I'll be responding, as always, to any of the Brazilian fans who may be out there in the comments. Listen, man, I come from a place of love. Those major winning Brazilian teams are some of the best teams I ever got to watch live, man. And I want to see Brazil repeat, because when Brazil is strong, Counter-Strike is stronger for the better. But you guys have to want more out of this community, man. You can't keep letting this fester. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. While you're down there, consider checking out AdvantageGG. Once again, thank you to them for helping out with the channel. I'm really excited to work with them. Use code LIONS10 at checkout, obviously. Also, consider becoming a channel member for $5 a month. You can support me directly in what we do here. Shout out to our channel members, Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, and our newest member, Dr. Cocktor, for helping keep the lights on. Other than that, my name is LionHeartZ. I'll see you guys soon with another video, and peace.